Well, welcome to our live event today. We're so excited to have everyone join in. We always like to like to go through some housekeeping stuff. Go through.
Not take care of it, it's fine.
We'll take care of it. Yes, that's a good way of putting it. So we just want to remind everybody to go check out our Facebook page and our website, both of which have our vendors on, vendor information, and there might, especially if you're like pregnant right now and looking for some information regarding that, we have lots of different vendors that are participating this year. And also another reminder too, to go to our Eventbrite event, and you can claim your swag bag. You can get a swag bag ticket, and also reminders when the events are coming up. This year, the funds from this our expo, sorry, I could not talk, is going towards the doula training scholarship. So if you are, or you know somebody in the Columbia area or South Carolina, right guys?
For us?
Yes.
Yes, so we can see, especially like this via telehealth, we can see anyone in the United States except for there are 4 states that have licensed their lactation providers and we don't have licenses. So,
sorry, no.
Georgia, New Mexico, Rhode Island, Oregon. I'm sorry, we can't help you.
That's good information. No, but for the doula training scholarship, and who can apply for that?
Right now?
Anyone in South Carolina, right? As long as you are a member of the LGBTQ plus community or a person of color, correct?
Well, preferably in the Midlands, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And we want to invite everybody also as well to donate to Love Your Birth. The donations go right back into the community. You can do that on Facebook. There's a little donation button there, or you can go to our website, loveyourbirth.org, and donate that way as well. And we want to remind everybody that Amazon Prime Day is coming up, because who doesn't love Prime Day and Amazon? It's on the 13th and 14th, which is Tuesday and Wednesday this week. And also we have, you can sign up to have Love Your Birth be the charity of choice. Every time you make a purchase, we get a portion of that, correct? And there's a post. You might have to stand up, which is a pain in the butt.
He's been through this.
Like, I'm not too bad. And there's a post on Instagram and Facebook on how to make us your charity of choice on Amazon. We also want to remind you that we have our bonfire campaign still going. It ends the last day of the expo, which is the 14th. Usually there are minimum purchases for t-shirts, but in this campaign that's happening, that is not necessary. And every single t-shirt that you purchase will put you in to enter a copy of the birth game Down the Canal, and tomorrow, just as a plug too, we're playing another round of Kahoot as well. So every live, it also gives you an opportunity to win prizes, especially if you listen for the keyword in each live and then fill out the form that will be posted in the comments. But also you can comment right now, travel system or Target, and that counts for an extra bonus prize or bonus entry for you. Listen today as well that Columbia Lactation Care has donated a $50 gift card to Columbia Lactation Care, which covers an entire telehealth visit, which is amazing. And what is next today at 4 p.m., Dr. Dawn Bingham, we're going to have a conversation with her about delivering during a pandemic, which is an amazing topic. A lot of people have a lot of questions about that. Okay. I think that's everything. We can get started. This event is highlighting one of our platinum vendors, where they get to tell you more about themselves and what they do. These platinum vendors have made a significant financial contribution towards our organization, and we're so grateful for their support. And just as a disclaimer, participation in the expo by business does not represent or endorsement from Love Your Birth organization, and we do encourage our consumers to perform their own due diligence and choose providers that fit their family needs and values. We're all different, and so definitely do your research. Oh. All right. So I'm excited. We might need to grab my baby. We never just to feed
We
him.
do baby thing.
But before I grab him, I just wanted to say too, usually like when the four of us are hanging out, it's about Love Your Birth. And we all have different roles and jobs, but it's exciting today to be together to talk about Columbia Lactation Care, because that is a whole other separate part of your guys' lives. So
It's a big
yeah, it's a big part. Yeah. So let's get started. Did you want to start by just telling a little bit about yourselves and the services that you provide?
Yeah, so my name is Kristen Leonard. I own Columbia Lactation Care. I started the practice in 2015. We just celebrated our 5th anniversary. So yeah, super exciting. 5 years in business.
That's a big deal.
Are all certified lactation counselors. We go through the Academy of Lactation Policy and Practice. That is our certifying organization and our kind of overseeing body. Equality and equity and inclusivity are really, really important to me and to us as an organization. We are the only lactation practice in the state of South Carolina that is listed with the Family Equality Open Door Directory. That's something recent that we did. So we're the only lactation practice that are able to be there. Oh, and we do.
Hi, Brandy.
Hi, Brandy. I do love you.
Yeah.
Excited for that. We were voted best in Columbia by the Free Times this year, so super excited
That's my
about
mama.
that.
That's my mama.
Oh yeah,
That's
and
my
that's-
baby.
That's you.
we have lots of children. Well, I have mostly me, to be honest. She's fucking one. She's trying to catch up.
Well,
You're not gonna make it. So I have 4 children, 13, and then I have a 10-year-old and a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. It was, just take that in for a minute. Just process it.
Yes.
But they're all great. It's so helpful to have a teenager. I can't even tell you right now. And my 5-year-old was really the inspiration for me for starting my practice. He was born inside, we didn't know. Actually, my oldest was too. We just didn't know at the time. But through that, I discovered that there wasn't a lot of the resources here because I was kind of new to the area at the time. We've been in Columbia for almost 10 years now. So I guess we've been there 3 or 4 years when he was born. But still, I hadn't ever gone looking for those resources. So when he was born and I did go looking for those resources, and I had a hard time finding them, that's what really motivated me to start my practice and to start my business.
and that's a really similar story to my story.
Yeah.
I'm Rachel Garrett. I'm also a certified lactation counselor. You heard my baby. That was her a minute ago. She was very tongue and lip tied, and we had she was almost failure to thrive. We had jaundice in a billy blanket at one point, severe colic for months. Like, it was really rough in the beginning, but now I'm the most passionate about those kinds of babies. Like, if you get a high needs colic baby, those are my people, and I love them. Like, I love working with them. But yeah, our breastfeeding relationship was really rough in the beginning, and I credit Kristen for helping us save it. Like, she was a really big part of helping us figure out, what wasn't working and getting access to the resources that we needed. And it made a really big difference in our lives, and it clearly made a difference in my life because now that's what I do too.
She's with me. We do it together. It's so great. I love it.
Oh, and I've been doing all of our telehealth for the pandemic, so that's
Yes.
been really fun. I've really enjoyed that. I feel like parents have been able to gain a lot of empowerment from it because they're the ones being hands-on with their babies, so they they feel what we're talking about when we're assessing things with the baby's mouth, or they know that they are the ones who can do these things because they did it during our call and they didn't have anybody helping them hands-on. I've noticed it's really cool to see how empowered they can get. It's been a fun thing. I didn't realize what happened with telehealth, so
Yeah.
I've been enjoying it. It's a good time.
That's kind of been our response to the pandemic as far as, what are we doing now? That telehealth was not something that was ever on my radar or something that we thought we would do. I am still doing home visits during this time. I will wear a mask. I do have 4 children. 3 of them are in school. So just to err on the side of caution when I go into people's homes, I do wear a mask. I don't ask or require that you wear a mask in your own home. If that's something that you want to do, by all means. But if not, that's fine with me. Like, you're in your own house. But I will wear a mask just to kind of keep that there. So I live kind of close to Costco. So our service area is within about 30 minutes of the Costco area. That's going to get us out to Chapin. I've gone up to Little Mountain, Lexington. I think I've gone out to Gaston, the Northeast, the Pontiac, Blythewood. I went out to Ridgeway once. It's a little bit further than 30 minutes, but it is what it is. People need help no matter where they live. So we try and really work with people wherever they are, Hopkins and into the Southeast. So it's a pretty good region that we can cover. And then Rachel, of course, is doing telehealth. We are here. Oh, yeah. This is her telehealth space. So if you were to have a visit with Rachel, this is what you would see.
We got some tools too. Little props in there
for us.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. I'll show you some of my stuff. We got a goodie basket here full of all my my tools and things we might use in a visit. So examples of different bottles and things. We can do like teaching pace bottle feeding and things like that with our little doll and our bottles. And I mean, there's really not much we can't do in telehealth. It's been such a fun learning experience. I mean, like Kristen said, we can't do a weighted feed, but we can do all other things. So it's been really cool. Oh,
we have a request to see things.
I just saw that.
Close.
This is a knitted breast that I made.
I was gonna say that she knitted.
I did. I'm a
Very
knitter.
fancy.
Oh, very handy. You don't realize all the things you can do with this guy until you have one around. But hand expression, different latches, like all kinds of stuff we can talk about with that.
Yeah, and like we mentioned earlier, we can do telehealth for pretty much anyone in the United States, with the exception of those 4 states that require a license for their lactation providers. And that is Georgia, New Mexico, Oregon, and Rhode Island. But outside of that, telehealth really opens us up to being able to see anyone, anywhere.
What an amazing resource.
This is real life. That's okay. And if you have a baby who's a crier, we're not afraid of that because we don't care. We hear it all the time. Totally desensitized.
We've had the colicky baby. I've had some refluxy kids.
Yeah.
So yeah,
we're gonna take a lot to get us upset or worried. Well,
we've been there.
We can handle it. Okay.
All right. I'm gonna dive in because I see that Annie is.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. It's okay. It's fine.
That's my mama.
Yeah.
We want to
Go ahead. Thank you for helping me today.
Oh, no problem.
Julian was just saying that.
Oh. So what we wanted to talk about today was being ready for anything. We don't want to scare people, so it could be like prepared for the worst. But
doom and gloom.
I don't want to terrify people. But I think that there's a lot of anxiety and concern right now about like, what do we do if? And so we kind of wanted to give you some tools and things that can help you be prepared for any kind of scenario or situation. And obviously the most concerning one at this point for most parents that are expecting is going into the hospital setting with a positive COVID diagnosis and like, what does that mean? And what does that look like? So some things that we know about COVID and the SARS-2 whatever novel coronavirus, lactation, but not medicine.
Yeah.
What we know about that virus is so far is that it is not transmitted via breast milk. So the studies that we've seen, even dating back to like April and May, when this was first started to be seen, not in the amniotic fluid, not in any not in any breast milk or human milk, not in the amniotic fluid. I think it wasn't even in the cord blood or in the placenta. So there's a real separation there. They've tested some babies like fresh out. And they did not test positive even when they had parents that were testing positive. So the transmission is really still air-based, still droplet-based, so we can still protect our babies through masking. There are some recommendations for social distancing with infants, but that is a very, very personal choice.
Yeah.
And each person needs to make that decision for themselves. But there are ways that you can make that safe through wearing a mask and things like that. I will throw out, please don't put a mask on your baby.
Oh, yeah.
I did read an article once where someone had a baby shower and they like got a cute little mask for their baby in the baby shower. Please don't put a mask on your baby.
Yeah,
They're still learning to breathe. Like their lungs are really fresh.
Real fresh.
Let them figure out breathing. You wear the mask to protect them.
Yeah. I
But
think the
don't.
under 2 is not recommended, correct?
Right.
Under 2,
Under
yeah.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely not recommended. So don't put a mask on your baby. Do put a mask on yourself. Know that that's kind of the transmission route. And it's really of a benefit for you to continue feeding your baby human milk because it's going to have all of those antibodies. So as we're exposed to pathogens, and this is generic across the board.
Yeah.
So if your kid is in daycare or if you're exposed to some kind of virus somewhere that's not this or a bacteria or whatever your baby is exposed to, you become exposed to through that contact and through that breastfeeding, chest feeding relationship. So you're going to make those antibodies. So if you already have COVID, you're making those COVID antibodies, and that's going to go into your breast milk, and that's going to help to protect your baby.
Spotting is so
It's a-
cool.
I know, and it's so cool. I love it.
It's so cool.
It's alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So every situation is unique, but generally speaking, you know, we really advocate for keeping parents and babies together,
Yeah.
continuing skin-to-skin contact, continuing feeding, you know, all of these things that will help to protect them. Now, like I said, every situation is unique, but you know, that would be the ideal, is to be able to keep people together. All right, so
Absolutely.
what's next on our list?
I think now would be a good time to do a giveaway. So your
Great.
fancy, nice spot prize.
Do it.
Which is, again, a reminder, it's a $50 gift card to Columbia Lactation Care, which will cover an entire telehealth visit, correct?
Yep. It can be used for a
Yeah,
visit
either
too. So
Yeah.
it would cover, it is $150, so it would cover a third of that, or it would cover an entire telehealth visit. And it is digital, so it's open to anyone, again, outside of those 4 states.
Sorry, those 4 states.
Those 4 states. So let's think of something for our watchers right now. We didn't.
I'll leave that up to you because I'm keeping my Columbia Lactation Care hat on.
Yes, that's true. That's true. So, well, I didn't think of anything. Julianne, do you have a question that you can think of?
Favorite dessert?
Oh, that's a good
Ooh.
one.
Good one.
Great question.
No, the first person to say their favorite dessert in the comments today wins that golden ticket.
I will also mention that we should have some time for Q&A, so if anyone has questions,
Yeah.
just to address anything, please feel free to put your questions in the comments there, and Julianne will get those to us at the end.
How do families get in contact with you or schedule an appointment?
So the best way is to go through our website. It's columbialc.com for Columbia Lactation Care, or whatever you want to make those LC stands for. columbialc.com is where you can find all of our information. You can go to columbialc.com/schedule, and that will take you right to our scheduling page where you can request an appointment. The first thing you'll be asked is who you want your provider to be. So you choose Rachel if you want to choose a telehealth appointment, or you choose myself if you want to have a home visit. You can also contact us through the phone if that's easier for you. My number is 803-31. Oh, that's my personal number. I'm not giving you that one.
No, scratch that.
250-5723. That's the business number. Please just call that one.
You want to say that again? Because we're laughing.
803-250-5723.
Perfect.
So we also have a Facebook page, Instagram. So you can reach out. You will probably talk to Rachel on Instagram because I'm just old enough to be like, yeah, I can't really do that. So she handles all of the social media. I do respond typically to most of our Facebook messages. I can manage that, but Instagram is
I got you.
So close.
It's okay.
So
Close.
we're not quite there. So did I see
we have a winner?
like Kylie?
Kylie.
Oh yeah.
Kylie Calder. Congratulations. And a good time too to remind everybody, write Travel System or Target in the comments for an extra entry as well for our big prizes.
And Kylie, if you will get your email address to Julianne, then we can get that. It's a digital gift card, so we'll get that over to you. No problems there.
Make sure we get Kylie's email.
One more thing I wanted to touch on is kind of like, what do we do? So we kind of talked about how COVID is transmitted and how we can protect our babies. But preparing for that and preparing for kind of any situation, right? So we want to have an idea of what our goals are for breastfeeding and really communicate that really well with your care team, because you don't know, there is so much unknown right now. So make sure that your doctor, your midwife, if you happen to have a friend that's in the nursing staff, or as you're coming in, if you're working with a doula, make sure that your doula knows what your preferences are for feeding. Work with them and even build that into your birth plan of like, what do you want to have happen for you? Being prepared in advance prenatally is a really important component to being ready for kind of the worst situation. So if you're prepared for the worst and the best happens, awesome. But if the worst happens, then you go into that situation knowing I've already told everybody what I want. I've made that clear. They can make that more likely to happen for you. So this is where I'm going to like point at you, Annie.
Sorry?
We want to be prepared prenatally.
Oh, the keyword.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's hanging on the edge waiting for that keyword.
Yes, that is a good, thank you, Kristen. I'm always on top of the keyword, which is prenatal. So the Google form will be put in the comments if it's not already. And yes, again, it's prenatal.
So you can have a prenatal telehealth visit with Rachel where you can go through everything. And I've done home visits for those before. Because of COVID, obviously, it's easier. It's something that can be done via telehealth, so it just makes sense to do that way. And understanding how milk production works is really important to kind of making your plan. So the most important thing is removing that milk. Yeah. So the more milk that we can remove, the more we're going to send those signals to your body. We typically want to see people start, say there's a separation, we want to see people start hand expressing and pumping within about an hour after delivery. I will say, don't give up hope and don't be distraught if what is ideal and what we think is like the right answer doesn't happen right away. I'm actually working on a case study right now of a client that came to me who, very crazy situation, that they came down with COVID. They ended up having to be intubated and then have an emergency C-section, and then were separated from their baby for 9 days, because when the baby goes into the NICU, you can't control that. And if you're COVID positive, you can't go in the NICU. So most of the time we can avoid these separations, but there are instances where you just can't. So baby's off in the NICU. Mom is still on a ventilator for 3 days before she ever starts any kind of stimulation. And that mom has a full supply now. Yeah. And that's like, scientifically we go like, well, that shouldn't happen. Like,
right.
What just happened here? And so we're learning all the time about how amazing our bodies are and how we have this capacity to nourish and to feed our children, even in the strangest of circumstances. So don't feel like because one thing didn't work for you or it didn't go the way you wanted it to, that everything is down. She came off that vent at 3 days. She was leaking. And her nurse said, oh, well, let me get you a towel for that. And she said, no, get me a pump. And she started every 2 hours around the clock. And by golly, like, it's saved her. Yeah. So she's at some point you'll see an article in a lactation journal and it will have my name on it, and I'll be very excited. And
That is so exciting.
all about but yeah, so the most important thing is to get that milk moving, move it frequently. If you're in a situation where you can't find a pump, Hand Express, there's a great website called firstdroplets.com that has some great positioning and early days and hand expression videos where you can get an idea for that. And even if you can't collect it, if you think like, I don't have a cup or a bottle or anywhere to put this, like just get it out into a towel. So the more that we move out, the more that we're going to then make.
Yep.
So if we can just get that out, and then we'll just start making more, and we'll get that process going.
It might seem like a waste, but it's still serving a purpose and getting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Especially for long term. A lot of the families that we work with have long term breastfeeding goals. They're wanting to breastfeed for 6 months, 12 months, 24 months. And those early days really lay the foundation for the long term supply.
Absolutely. Awesome. Julianne, do we have any questions from the Facebook? The Facebook.
From the Facebook.
I'm so old. Drop the. Pardon? No? Okay. Is there any last comments or things that you would like to share with us? Compliments? Just kidding.
Have any?
If you have any questions, you can message us on Facebook or Instagram, or find us online. Kristen dropped our phone number, the correct one.
That does come straight to me, so you will get me.
I also have a text line. I mean, but we got you.
All of our information is on our website too. So you can go onto our website. There's a staff page where you can read a little bit more about me, a little bit more about Rachel. It's got our direct emails, our direct phone numbers. If you are afraid of the phone and you just want to text me, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I'm very
It's a text line, HIPAA compliant line. You know, we have some extra precautions and things that we have to take into consideration as healthcare providers. But it is a okay line to text.
Yes.
And you've got that for both of us on there. You can reach your direct choice provider. Yeah. So, and because our online scheduling too has a lot of limitations, so yes, it's available and it's there. But if you need something sooner, you can for sure text us or call us and see what we can work out.
Yeah, we're pretty good about working you in. If you don't see something online and you need something, like we can usually find a place to squeeze you if we need to. So.
Well, that's great. What a valuable resource you guys are to the community. Thank you so much for participating in the expo this year. We know that the funds go directly back into the community and serve so well, and we're hoping to diversify the community and help as many parents as we can out there. Again, reminder that our next live will be at 4 p.m. with Dr. Dawn Bingham, talking about delivering during a pandemic, specifically hospital birth. So we're excited to have a nice chat with her. And again, thank you, Columbia Lactation Care, Kristen and Rachel. You guys are fabulous.
Oh, thank you, Randy.
I know.
That was really sweet.
I know. I love Randy.
Oh.
Oh.
All right.
Always, you can go leave a review on our Facebook page.
Oh, yeah.
That's how, we'll throw that plug out there. Google, you can leave Google and on Facebook so that other families know that they're making a good choice.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Oh. Awesome.
Awesome. That's so great. Okay. Well, I think we are done today, ladies. And
Awesome.
Thank you, everybody for tuning in today.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks
you for
everybody.
having us.
We'll see you around.
We'll see you.